I'm not an election conspiracist here or an election denier. In fact, during 2020, I was probably one of the people who were dismissive of them. But anyone who's trying to compare us asking for a recount to them asking for a recount is, they're missing the point here. They had only videos of people moving provisional ballots. We have multiple thousands of people coming forward saying their ballots were rejected for no reason. A bunch of ballots split across the party lines, like they voted blue all the way down but only voted red for the president. Like, why would you vote for people to change things and then vote for the person who would stop that change? There's also been reports of people going door to door with iPads asking people to vote then and there, which I'm pretty sure is very suspicious. There was a raid by the DCIS on one of Trump's friends' houses. There were multiple Russian bomb threats called into various precincts, during which time no one was watching the election property. Because, of course, they wouldn't be able to do that. And bomb threats don't usually only take half an hour to an hour to resolve. I've been in a bomb threat before. You get evacuated. I was in a bomb threat in a casino, actually. And it took like 4 hours for them to inspect everything and clear the area. It was definitely a weird situation to find oneself in. Also, calling all the races before all the ballots are counted, and also not counting all the ballots that are there, plus the discrepancy of how many millions of people signed up this year to vote and voted this year versus how many people didn't vote, leaving a difference of a missing 20 million votes, even if the last 20 million vote gap from the previous year was somehow false or something. We have evidence, and we aren't going to stop until we figure out what happened. In fact, people who are saying don't do a recount are telling us, hey, don't do a recount, you're election denying, isn't election denying a federal crime, blah, 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 blah. And to that I say, no, it's a completely different situation for the aforementioned reasons. Then you have the other people in the election and the MAGA party being like, oh, it was a fair election, there's no need for a recount, you can't handle it, you lost, and then a bunch of vulgar remarks and other profanity and stuff. Really, it brings out the worst in people for some reason. And then they're like, but if you do it, you'll find out that 2020 was stolen because there would be no proof and blah, 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 blah. And that's why I'm going to ask, why the fuck aren't you asking for a recount then to confirm the thing and then double rub it in our faces? Wouldn't it be cathartic of you to be able to prove that 2020 was stolen if you had the recount of 2024? But instead, no, you're like, no, don't do it. Because there's something suspicious going on. If you knew that there was nothing suspicious going on, you'd be all for a recount or a revote or a retally of all the stuff. Because 20 million people don't just stay home randomly when Nazis are running. For those of you who are going to be horribly affected by this, stay strong and don't give up. Don't off yourself yet. Because there are blue states that are, like my own state of Illinois, that have leaders that actually know how to lead things. We actually have people who know how to deal with him and have dealt with him wonderfully in the past, which is why our numbers for the pandemic were so damn low. And why we survived. So consider finding a friend in a blue state that can save you from your red state. As if we wanted to, blue states could probably take everything from red states, because the red states get so much from us, apparently. We are what are known as donor states. What we pay in federal taxes goes to other states, specifically the red states. You guys get everything so cheap in the red states because us blue state people are paying for it for you. You guys are always like, if you stop doing that, we'll just stop sending you food. Hey, Illinois is mostly cornfields and farmland. We literally have all the food production area, and we have all the power production for the Midwest, and apparently we sell lots of nuclear energy to local states for stuff. If at any point we wanted to, just because you guys like to mess around and find out, we could easily just, flip a switch, and stuff would stop being sent to you guys. Heck, you want to send us all the migrants, go ahead, because we can also afford to house and help everyone, because we wouldn't be paying for housing and helping you guys. It's going to get expensive, it's going to get rough, and I'm going to be here with open arms, waiting to beat you with a stick when you come to jump ship after you have decided that your vote for a known career criminal who's cheated at everything in his life for some reason was a better choice than a black woman. And that's not even pulling up the race card either, because literally you just couldn't. The guy was literally a felon, and you elected him. Which is another thing that makes no sense. How the hell did the felon win? So many people on his party were switching lines and regretting him and going against him, and so many Democrats weren't crossing the aisle to vote for him. So, hopefully, with the international court involved, because they were also there to watch the election and scrutinize some things, hopefully they will be able to help, because if they have all the House, the Senate, and the presidency and SCOTUS, and literally none of the checks and balances are there to stop them from, destroying everything, and Putin's laughing at him for winning, and all their enemies are congratulating him and saying, let's work towards peace, and all the theatrical BS and stuff. It's going to be a rough 4 years. So for the next 2.5 months, it's business as usual. Just remember, 71 days, business as usual. It's important that we don't let this weigh us down. We have been through, not worse, but we have been able to survive quite a bit. It's super important that you just don't give up hope, because we still have 71 days to make sure that this was a fair election. Call your Congress people, ask for audits, and let's figure out if he really won. If we get the investigations going and find out that he did legitimately win and there wasn't any cheating afoot, great. That's a good thing for everyone. Except for the people who he is about to, deport or kill or put into concentration camps, because we all know he's a Nazi. Anyway, then, and if it finds out that there's fraud on either side, double good. Seriously, everyone in this election, even the people who voted the winners, should be vying for a recount or a revote. Because if they don't, they're hiding something.